Already Tracy challenge the Killhouse stealth, no interrogation, 15 minutes, and no moving bodies. We've got no interrogation, which means that we're gonna have to, well, drill, and that's not really all that great since that's gonna take a bit of time, but you know what, we can most definitely make do with that. And then there's no moving bodies, which is just not really that great, but it's not unintimidating, so we can at least hostage, which is always nice. Speaking of which, put your hands up. You as well, and you show up inside over here. But then finally there's 15 minutes, which doesn't really matter all that much, it just doesn't. So we're gonna move you all over here. We're gonna knock everyone out, we're gonna grab a few disguises, and hopefully the guard won't see any guns and cause any problems, which... I mean, the guard's not even here, so... That's a camera, and we're not really here to get caught by cameras, so we're just going to ignore that. And instead we're just going to try and find, hopefully, the last guard, right then. This is perfectly in the middle of not getting caught, so we're just gonna quickly loot this camera so that things don't go absolutely terribly. Then I'm just gonna move you over here, and I'm just gonna knock you over there, which isn't really the most ideal situation, but you know what, that works out just fine. And seemingly we can't find a single door that is actually meant to be lockpicks, so we might be here for a while. I mean, not anymore, we're through here. Though it's overall not that great, so we're just gonna go over here and start looping the cameras, and well, it should be relatively simple in the sense that we could just do this, go over here and do this, and that's already 2 cameras down. I mean, we can get a 3rd camera by just going over here, which is maybe not the best solution, but... Really? Right then. Instead, we could just ignore the guard. We could go over here. Just keep walking, we're not doing this. And now since you're past, we can finally go over here. And then hopefully actually get this loop. So if 3 guards suddenly show up over here, we can just clear all of them really quickly in one go, which... You know, it'll be quite nice, it'll make things much faster, and I could actually go and help Cyber right now, but... You know what, even if we can't do it in one fell swoop, it's gonna be perfectly fine, and we could just loop. Really? No, we're not doing this. But there is a power box over there, which I'm definitely interested in. So we'll just go over here for now. This is a very large area, but we'll just loop this over here. And now if Cyber needs a green power box, we can definitely find that relatively soon, which... I guess we can find 2 different ones right now. That is some perfect timing. But you know what, put your hands up. That's a blue power box, it's the green one that we're looking for, so we're just gonna disable this since... I frankly have no idea where the 2 other gods are, and that's not a great feeling, so... We're just gonna do that. We're gonna have you do that. And while the camera is seemingly not gonna see anything, which is generally a good thing, so we're just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna go all the way back through here, and then we'll just knock it out over here, which... I mean, hopefully Cyber's gonna drill right now, because that's kind of what we want, but I don't see an arrow, so that's probably the case. So presumably Cyber's gonna be working on drilling things relatively soon, but... Perfect. Right then, slight question. Where is Cyber? I mean, it's great and all that Cyber has a drill, but it needs to actually start running for things to actually start, well, going decently fast, which might take a bit of time, but then again, for now, we gotta just instead walk around and loop all of the cameras, since there are still 2 cameras that spawn, which we should be concerned about because it's going to affect our escape path, which won't be all that great if we're carrying a bag, because the cameras are definitely going to detect us much faster. Why does Cyber have 3 blowtorches? Right then, let's not question things too much, and hopefully things won't go absolutely terribly. I mean, 3 blowtorches is definitely a bit overkill, but we'll just leave it at that. And we'll just take care of any remaining cameras, which... What are you doing? No, just no. Right then. I should not be grabbing C4s. I'm just gonna leave that over. That was rude. Right then. You know what? Instead we'll do something else. We'll just go around and find some medkits, which... Conveniently, there's one right over here. And I mean, we could always find more somewhere over here, which... It's great and all, as long as Cyber doesn't continue shooting me, which... might very well happen. So we'll just stay over here. And then we'll grab the keycard so that we can just unlock every single door that do possibly ever exist, because that's probably something that we would want to do eventually due to the copious amount of keycard doors that exist on this current map. Hi there, you. We're gonna start by looping you first, since that's definitely something of concern, and then we're gonna find some vault keycards, which might take a while, since that's not really what we want. I don't think that camera's gonna be a problem, so we're just gonna ignore them. It's a relatively simple solution. And instead we'll just go over here and start searching for vault keycards instead, which... I mean, we've got it. So right now we'll just go back over here and then we'll just look up for any remaining cameras. And hopefully there won't be too much of a problem, which... I don't think there are gonna be, so we're just gonna leave it at that. And it seems like our fastest route out of here is just go through here, all the way through there, and then get out of here, which... I mean, there is this route, which... we could definitely consider taking, so we might just take this route instead. And I mean, all we're gonna do now is just actually, first of all, get the door unlocked first, just in case we take some more unusual exotic routes, and that's not gonna end well if that's just locked, which... I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's just a bit more time spent, but it's still not gonna end all that well for trying to do things relatively fast. And now that it's got around 8 seconds left, we're just gonna wait right up here, and it should be done relatively soon. I mean, Cyber was handling C4, so hopefully we won't actually have a C4 waiting at spawn for us, because that would be quite bad for what we're trying to do here, which is to just not die, so... we're just gonna run through here, and hopefully Cyber won't be deciding on murdering us, because that's generally not all that great, so... much appreciated. Could we escape now? That would be quite important. Just saying. But after that, that's the daily challenge done in just under 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Cheers everyone, have a great time!